The Silent World of Leo. The Silent World of Leo. In a small, sun-drowned town, there lived a young man named Leo. Leo's world was quiet, not because he couldn't hear, but because he felt trapped behind a thick, invisible wall. This wall was the English language. He could read simple words, understand a slow hello, but his thoughts, vivid, funny, and full of dreams, felt like birds fluttering in a cage. He wanted to study computer science abroad, to watch movies without silly subtitles, to have a conversation with the friendly Australian tourist at the town's cafe. But every time he tried, the wall seemed to grow taller. One day, frustrated, Leo visited his old school teacher, Mr. Evans, who had retired to a cozy house filled with books. "Mr. Evans," Leo said, his voice heavy, "I want to break this wall. But how? It's too big." Mr. Evans smiled and poured 2 cups of tea. "You don't break a wall in one hit, Leo. You remove it, brick by brick, and for that, you need a plan." He took a notepad and wrote at the top, "Leo's Wall Demolition Guide." Step 1. The foundation, listening to the rhythm. "First," Mr. Evans said, "you must soak your ears in the music of English. A language is a rhythm before it is words." His task: every morning while eating breakfast, Leo would listen to a short, simple English podcast for learners. He didn't have to understand everything. He just listened to the melody, the rise and fall of sentences. At night, he watched a 10-minute clip from his favorite cartoon, with English subtitles focusing on how the voices sounded. The change. After 2 weeks, English no longer sounded like a chaotic noise. It had a pattern. He started recognizing the sound of a question, the cadence of a joke. The first few bricks of the wall had loosened. Step 2. The first bricks. Speaking to yourself. "Now," Mr. Evans advised, "you must make the sound yourself, with no one to judge you." His task: Leo began to describe his day out loud in simple English while walking home. "I am walking. The sky is blue. I see a black dog. I feel happy." He named everything in his room: desk, lamp, book, dusty guitar. He felt silly, but in the privacy of his room, he was free. The change. The fear of his own voice in English began to fade. Words like comfortable or refrigerator, which he could read, now found a voice. He was building muscle memory for his mouth and tongue. Step 3. Building vocabulary with glue. Learning in chunks. Leo complained, "I memorize lists of words, but I forget them." Mr. Evans nodded. "Words alone are loose bricks. You need the glue of context." His task: instead of learning get, up, on, with, Leo learned phrases: get up, get on with someone, get on the bus. He kept a small notebook and wrote down whole sentences from his podcast or cartoon. He turned on the light. Not just light. The change. His speech started to sound more natural. He could say, "I get on with my sister," instead of the awkward, "My relationship with my sister is good." The phrases stuck because they had a home in a real sentence. Step 4. The scaffolding. Finding a guide. Mr. Evans knew Leo needed more. "You need a patient guide, not just an old man like me." He introduced Leo to an online language exchange app. His task: Leo found Anna, a cheerful woman from Canada who wanted to learn Spanish, Leo's native tongue. They agreed to talk for 30 minutes, 15 in English, 15 in Spanish. The change. The first call was terrifying, but Anna was kind and slow. She corrected him gently, saying, "You say I am agree? Try I agree, or I do agree." Leo wasn't just practicing, he was communicating. He told her about his town, and she described the Canadian snow. The wall now had a door. Step 5. Embracing the mess. Making mistakes. After a mistake with Anna, Leo felt embarrassed. I said, I have 25 years instead of I am 25. Mr. Evans laughed. Excellent! That's a fantastic mistake. Now you'll never forget it. Mistakes are not stones thrown at your wall. They are the marks of the sculptor. Treasure them. His task. Leo started his own mistake diary. He wrote down his errors and the correct version. He stopped fearing being wrong. The change. His confidence grew. He realized communication was about the message, not perfect grammar. The door in the wall swung open more freely. Step 6. Living in the language. Making it a habit. Don't make English a subject, Leo. Make it a part of your life, Mr. Evans said. His task. Leo changed his phone's language to English. He followed English-speaking programmers on social media. He read the news on a simple English learning website. He cooked using an English recipe and nearly burned his eggs. The change. English was no longer a one-hour-a-day chore. It was the soundtrack to his life. He was thinking in English sometimes, dreaming simple dreams in it. Months passed. The seasons changed. Leo continued his steps day after day, brick by brick. Then came the day of the town's international fair. The friendly Australian, Mark, was back at the cafe. Heart-pounding, Leo walked up to him. This time, he didn't freeze. "Hi, Mark. Welcome back. How was your flight?" Leo asked. Mark's face lit up. "Leo, you remember me? The flight was long, but I'm glad to be here." And so began a real conversation. They talked for 20 minutes about travel, food, and Mark's home in Sydney. Leo didn't understand every single word, but he understood the meaning, the jokes, the connection. Walking home that evening, Leo felt a different kind of quiet. It was the peaceful, open quiet of a wide horizon, not the stifling quiet of a prison. He looked back. The wall was gone. In its place was a bridge built piece by piece with patience, courage, and the right plan. He knew his journey wasn't over. There were always more words to learn, finer grammar to master. But he was no longer trapped. He was walking freely across his bridge into a world that was now wonderfully, beautifully loud with possibility.